message series right now we're in is titled Fixing Us. What we're trying to do is fix us because we're a little broken at times. And if you're not broken and you're just perfect and you just have that amazing marriage, get out. Okay, we don't like you. I'm only kidding. We applaud you. That's what we do. Man, that's exciting that you have a strong, good marriage. But that's what we're trying to work towards, you know? That's what it's all about. So today, in part 4 of our series, we are tackling, I want to think, the core issues of our marriage. Communication, along with truth, love, and grace. Being able to show it, share it, do it, and live it. There's a reason why Paul used husband and wife as an illustration or a metaphor for the church. Because there's a purpose in our marriage. Our marriage, our motto for our marriage should be, people will come to know who Christ is in their life because of our marriage. Wouldn't that be awesome? That people, everyday people that you either work with, that you just pass by, if they see your marriage in such a healthy state, that they could come to know who Christ is because your marriage is a good, pure example of salvation. Truth, love, and grace. So we're creeping up on Easter here. We're a few weeks out. And, you know, many times, which I find it so odd, and the coexist stickers, they've made the Christian symbol a cross and an egg. And I just laugh. I go, you're not a Christian. You didn't. The person who designed that clearly was not a Christian because that's not a defining moment for us. That Easter, it's like we peak. Christians, whoa, Easter. And it's like, all the rest of the year. Listen, Easter is just a moment we celebrate of what Christ did, but it's forever because our Christ lives. That's the key ingredient in this. So we, my friend, are continuing to explode, continuing to grow in Christ. That's what's so great about the gospel. It's never ending. It's a continual living lifestyle. So as we're creeping up on this, don't be like, yeah, it's Easter, so I'm gonna celebrate, the resurrection of Jesus Christ, and I'm gonna show that in our marriage. Guys, you should show it on July the 30th at 2:00. You should show our marriage on the best day, December 26th, right? That's like one of those days that you're just like, I don't need to be nice to you anymore. You got your presents, But marriage should be all the time. So today we're tackling this because we need to have the motto that what if our marriages could lead people to Christ? So our 3 steps, truth, love, and grace. Truth. Oh man, truth. Truth is tough, right? It's hard to receive it, especially if it's given in the right way or the wrong way. Truth, no matter what it is hard. My wife and I, we have truth bomb moments. She will tell me something and I just cringe. Like, I don't want to hear that because it's the weakness inside of me. Truth shows the cracks in the flaws of my life. And you don't really experience true truth until you get married. That's the true truth. You have best friends. Like, I got a best friend who'll tell me anything. No. Your best friend doesn't know if you fart in the middle of the night. My wife, I learned she likes to talk in her sleep. And I didn't learn that, obviously, until our honeymoon. Creeped me out. And she got so nervous because she was like, what was I saying? And I was like, oh, yeah. I was like, you were telling me about how sexy I was? She's like, no, I wasn't. I know I didn't say that in my sleep. But when you get married, those are the flaws and those are the things that come out. My wife still denies that she talks in her sleep. And I'm like, you still talking in your sleep? I'm just used to it now, so I ignore you. Like, I don't even know. But those things they come out. And that's what marriage is actually a good thing. This is an opportunity for us to share truth and be each other's best friend, to say, hey, this is what's going on with me and this is what's going on with you. It shouldn't be an instance where truth becomes negativity, but should be a pruning moment to say, And this is the key ingredient, and this is where we get our marriages all backwards and wrong, is that we look at marriage. And let me explain something to you. I say this just because I've just looked out and I saw a few folks in our audience that are single. Take notes right now, people. I know you may have just zoned me off and you're like, marriage. I'm single. I'm living it up. La vida loco. I don't even know what that word means. If it's bad, I'm so sorry. JC, is it bad? Great. Okay, that's about it. So I know some of you may just tune me out and you were like, oh no, you can't, it's marriage, whatever. Tune in, okay? Tune in, because get ready. Get ready. You've set this as a goal in your life to get married. I know some of you, you're like, it's the goal. I want to get married, 2.5 kids and a dog and have all that kind of stuff. It's the American dream. Get ready. But when you get that moment and you say, I do, what you've done is you've said, I do allow you to see my flaws. I do allow you to see my cracks and my weaknesses. And in turn, you're allowing them to say, and I'm giving it to you for you to fix me and to help me so that you can make me a better person. See, time and time again, we twist it and we manipulate it and we say, you're just trying to make me look bad, and you see someone else and you think they're awesome. But that's one thing is for sure. You never look at your spouse and be like, I'm going to tell you right now, Jenny, Jenny, she's got it going on. She knows what she's doing. And your wife's like, she knows what? You never do that. You never look at someone on television and be like, I wish you were more like Mrs. Brady, wearing an apron all day. You can't say those things. That's wrong. You never do comparisons. Ever, ever, ever. What you do is you show them truth in the instance that it's to get them better. You never say or wedge something where you're trying to find another person that's better. That's not what you're trying to do. And if you somehow have lost the conversation to that realm of an uneasiness, really, you bring it back and you assure them that's not what you're trying to do. I don't want to be with anyone. I want to be with you. Because of your flaws, I actually am able to see some of the better things inside of you. And John, which is great, and if we're using our marriage as an illustration as the church, okay, as being what God's called us to be, to sharpen one another. In John chapter 15, verse 1, it says, I am the true grapevine, and my Father is the gardener. He cuts off every branch of mine that doesn't produce fruit, and he prunes the branches that do bear fruit so they will produce even more. We look at this opportunity and we actually cast it away because we're like, that's discipline, and discipline hurts. When we should look at it and go, you know what it does? It increases faithfulness. It increases a betterment relationship, a lifestyle. When he prunes us, when our relationship and our spouse, they prune us and they say, hey, you know what? That's really that's a bad part of you. Let's fix that. Let's fix it. My wife, I have bad toenails because I hike the Grand Canyon and I do all these big hikes, and I don't tend to my feet properly. So I have crazy looking feet, okay? You will rarely see me in sandals, and if you do, my toes will be curled in the sandals while I'm standing there talking to you. I'm a little insecure about my feet, all right? But my wife has made an instant, and this is a good thing. Some people think that I'm always picking on my wife. My wife is okay with this, and she's told me it is. But my wife will be like, oh, why don't you get that toenail fixed? Like, don't touch me with it, right? I could easily get really offended by her and be like, you should love me no matter what. And get real insecure with her, and I could be all like upset. But what she's trying to do is get it fixed, because I need to be fixed. That's just disgusting. Let's get real, right? No one should walk around with that toenail. That's crazy. Other moments in our lives where my wife will just drop the truth on me is like at nighttime. Every so often, I do comfort food. It's a bowl of cereal, and my wife will look at me and she'll go, oh, But I'm like, it's so good, and I want it. Josh, it's a bowl of sugar, and it's bad, and you'll get fat. Am I fat now? And she goes, no, but you're working towards that. Now, she could leave it there, right? But I do know her intentions because I know our love. The truth is, she wants me to be around when we're 75 years old. She doesn't want to be alone. She wants me around when we're 80 and 85 and 90. What if, and truth be told, what if Lucky Charms is actually not so lucky and it's killing me? Seriously, it's a bowl of sugar. It's a bowl of sugar and cardboard. That's what it is. Is it really worth me having a bowl of Lucky Charms to lose 5 years with my wife? No. So I'm going to drop some truth bombs. I'm going to read some of these. These are really good. And I think some of you will be kind of agreeing with them. I encourage you to not nudge your spouse during this moment, to not give them that small little corner look. They know when you're looking at them. You don't need to do that right now. You by no means need to make this sound. Don't even make a sound. Like swallow right now. Make all the weird noises now. Get all those out. All right? Get them out. This is pointless to go through all this, okay? All right. I'm going to drop some truth bombs. Let's be real. This is truth. So truth. These are flaws that your spouse might see. A fearful person. You're fearful, and because you're fearful, you have a tendency towards great anxiety. You're a proud person. You have a tendency to be opinionated and selfish. You're inflexible, and you tend to be demanding and sulky if you don't get your way. Those are inflexible or this. Here's a great example. It's like, where do you want to eat? Well, I'm not eating here. Okay. What about over here? I'm not eating there either. I don't like that. I'm not doing it. Well, how about we eat here? Nope. Not going to do it. Let me explain something. The reason why I'm not a big fan of inflexibility, because when it comes to restaurants, because every restaurant in America serves chicken. Eat it. Okay? Eat chicken. Okay? Eat it. Stop giving me all this garbage. Like, I don't like this restaurant. There's chicken there. Okay? So stop. Gosh. Your spouse might see that you're abrasive and harsh person. And you tend to lose respect for people. You don't have any respect for them. You're an undisciplined person, and because you're undisciplined, you're unreliable and you're disorganized. You're oblivious, and you tend to be distracted and insensitive and unaware of how you come across. Now that's really tough. That's like the person sitting at a restaurant and the waitress and them come, and you're just oblivious to them and other tables and all the work that they're doing, and you look at them and you snap and whistle from across the room. And you slurp in your drink and you turn the ice and you're kind of oblivious to it all. And what happens is there's embarrassment, and then also you're going to get a finger put in your drink when it comes back to you. Okay? So get ready for that. You're a perfectionist. You tend to be judgmental and critical. You're impatient and irritable with tendency to lose your temper. You're highly independent, and you don't like to be responsible for others, and you hate joint decisions. A person who wants too much to be liked, and you work hard to please everyone. And then there's the thrifty. You're the thrifty one in the relationship, but you become miserly, and you hate to spend money, and you have a hard time giving. And that relationship's tough when you deal with finances, because you have one who doesn't even care about money and doesn't understand how to budget, and you just spend, and then this person's very miserly, and unfortunately, there's a complete battle that takes place that can really destroy a marriage, and it's sad. And you have to work through this. So these are truth bombs that come at you at times, and it rubs you wrong, And there's two instincts that take place. The first instinct is that when your spouse acknowledges this truth to you, you look at them and you say, you bring this out of me. You bring out the worst in me. You blame your spouse, even though it's your flaw. But you want to just instinctively say, it's not my fault, it's your fault. This is the reason why I'm like this. I'm on edge because of this, of what you did earlier, what you did last week, and how you started off with this. You use all these argumentative terms. You point all the fingers away from you and back over to your spouse. The second instinct that takes place is you refuse to listen. When you hear a truth, you immediately stick your fingers in your ears and you just shut down. I do this. My wife will truth me, and I'll shut down, and it makes it really bad because then my wife wants to beat me up in a good manner. Ooh, you just don't want to listen to me. And I just shut down and I clam up and I play the silent treatment. And I just kind of look at her, or I avoid looking at her. And then she goes, I know that hurt you, but you needed to hear it. You right? And I sit there and I sulk. And in refusing to listen, what takes place is that nothing comes out of it that's good. Nothing gets worked out. Nothing becomes a solution. It just grows deeper and deeper issues. And that's tough. Truth is hard. But the good thing is, God gives us examples. And he gives us the best one for this. And it's in Ephesians chapter 4, verse 15. He said, instead, speaking the truth in love, we will grow to become in every respect the mature body of him who is the head, that is Christ. Because, guys, with truth, you need to understand that person is for you, not against you. That person will be speaking love, and again, they're not looking for a different person, they're looking for a better person in you. That is the key ingredient when you're doing it with love. Truth and love have got to work together. Period. When I come to my wife with an instance of something that needs to be truth, I have to do it with love. Now, it's not a machine gun full of truth bullets where I'm just firing them off at her and then yelling over top of the gun and yelling, I love you! Pa, 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 pa. That doesn't work. Okay? You can't just say, but I love you. That's why I'm doing this. That doesn't really work. Truth is, with love, is looking at the passion that you have, the tendencies of these truths, and saying, how can we rework that so they can see that there's something good that can come from it? If all you do is get angry towards your children, and there's a reason why you get angry at your children, and all you want to do is just yell, and they start yelling, and then before you know it, everyone's just yelling, that's tough, right? You should share with them that the passion of that anger should be redirected in the passion of being organized and finding out ways to get it resolved in the future before it escalates to this point in this moment. So a lot of times all we want to do is react upon their actions and to just say right back to them, stop doing what you're doing. I'm trying to love on you right now. But hey, how about you wait till everything kind of dissolves and resolves and say to them, all right, listen, we've got to talk about this. There's moments you get angry, and it's not really good. So let's put all of that attention into how we can pre-plan so that we're not just acting on our emotions. Let's get ourselves honed in here. So, hey, I like to spend money. My wife doesn't like to spend money, or vice versa. You look at them and you say, all right, let's get a plan where you can spend money and where I can save money. Rather than you're always in a battle. If I spend $100, you spend $100? We don't have that to spend. Yeah, I saw it. It was like $500 in the account. No, but that doesn't mean you spend it. You give them, you both come to an agreement of what is the spending limits, what you don't spend, what we're saving towards, and explain to them, why are we saving? What is the point? Retirement. We're saving for whatever the case may be, but that's why we're saving. That's why we're doing these things. So guys, you're averting these emotions with love and to say, well, this is why we're doing it because I can see why you are who you are and I want to make you better. My wife and I this past weekend, we went home for surprise birthdays. It just happened that her mother is celebrating her 60th birthday and my mom was celebrating her 65th birthday. So monumental birthdays. We decided to rush in, real quick trip to West Virginia, surprise our family and say, hey, happy birthday. Well, one thing that we learned really quickly was that our families are a little different. At birthday time, when it was time to celebrate birthday and sing this song, Happy Birthday, at the Huffman house, it was Happy Birthday to you. It was all nice and sweet and perfect. At the Gresham house, it was Happy Birthday. Everyone was screaming, punch dancing, like saying all these crazy things. It was really loud. It was much louder at the Gresham house. What my wife and I had to understand when we first got married was that we brought things into it that was unique. And it was learned behaviors at times. There are moments that my wife does things that gets on my nerves, and there's definitely moments, there's things that I do that get on her nerves. And what we've had to come to agreement to get to is say, you know what, this is just who they are. And it's okay. You know, it's just what they do. It's how they go about things. Do you know that my wife will ask me every Saturday evening, what are you preaching about tomorrow? Jesus. That's what I say every Saturday. Some of you say, well, why wouldn't you just tell her? Because my wife is a little different than I am. My wife, I've come to learn, she's a finder. I'm a dreamer. So because I'm a dreamer, I dream crazy things. Actually, I've learned through conversation with some of you, I can't dream with you because you're a finder. And you're going to hurt my feelings. See, at this church, we want to own a ranch out west. And we want to send kids out there during the summer. I'd like to have a helicopter. Okay? And in wanting to have a helicopter, someone once told me, you know you have to have a pilot. And I looked at him and I was kind of like, duh. I was like, I know that. But see, in the dreamer sense, is I don't care. That's an automatic given. One time I met with Tony one time. And Tony's a finder / a doer. And I said, Tony, I want to have a helicopter. He says, nope, you need an airplane. That's smarter. That actually has more value to it. And it had to be safer, and you can put more occupants in there. Then after I heard all that, I was like, you're right. We need a small airplane to fly from Vegas over to the ranch. That would be better. Right. I'm in agreement with him. Helicopter still seems a little more Magnum PI-ish, and I like that better. But as a dreamer, I'm dreaming, and it's fun to dream. My wife is not a dream killer because she's a finder. What she tries to do is make my dreams happen. That's what Tony was doing, trying to make the dreams happen. But it can come across like you're making me feel stupid for dreaming. She comes at me and she kind of tells me reality. You know? A better example, one of you is a dreamer in the relationship, right? And you're like, let's go to the Bahamas. And the finder / doer looks at you and goes, that's going to cost money. We have to plan this out. We got to get off work. We got to find babysitters. And the dream is gone. And then that person looks at you and goes, you're just mean. You're just awful. It doesn't mean that the finder didn't want to go on vacation with you and go to the Bahamas. That's not it at all. They wanted to go. They want to go just as desperately as you do. But the problem is their mindset is to figure out how. There's nothing wrong with it. It's really bad, though, when you do get a room full of dreamers. Dreamers are bad. Dreamers are like, they're nuts. Dreamers are awful in a room together. They are. Hillary and I are dreamers. Hillary and I will be on trips together and with all these other people. And Hillary and I will just be dreaming up a storm. And we want to do that, so let's do it. And everyone's kind of like, we got to get sweaty. We're going to get this. We're going to do that. And me and Hillary are kind of like, big deal. It's a part of it. But people start thinking. See, dreamers don't think past all of just the dream. They don't think about all this stuff. They're just going to make it happen. I've almost killed tons of people in my life because of my dreams. We can hike to the top of the mountain. We can do it. Let's do it. It's going to be awesome. Everyone's barfing as we're going up the mountain. I'm just trucking along. We can do it. It happens. So my wife's not a dream killer. She's a helper. And it's exciting. So identifying those two roles in a relationship helps. Because then I recognize she loves me and she wants to make these things happen as well. So let's do this together. Let's love this dream. It'll be great together. And I have to come down out of that dream. So on Saturday nights when she asks me, what am I preaching about? I say Jesus, because if I don't, my wife's going to give me 30 scriptures to go with my message. And then I've got to go back down into my study room and put these scriptures in there because I think, oh yeah, that's good. That'd be good. That'd be good. So at the end of my message today, my wife will even say to me, Josh, you know what would have been really great in your message? And I'll go. And the reason why is because it's too late. I don't want to think about those things. But what I have learned is small doses. So throughout the week, I'll kind of throw little things out at her, like, hey, what do you think about this, you know? And then I'll hear some feedback, and I'll go, that's good stuff. We learned how to work, rather than be like, she's just against me. She's trying to out-preach me. She thinks she's closer to Jesus than I am. Have those thoughts come in my head? Yes. Yes, they have. They have. But I've learned we're not in competition. We are each other's biggest fans. And that's where grace comes, okay? In an engine, truth and love power that engine. Truth and love, truth and love, truth and love, truth and love, truth and love. But the only thing that's going to keep that moving, grace. It's the oil to the machine. And that grace is understanding each other. We're each other's biggest fans. We understand it. Let me explain something to you. Now, we are huge ACC fans on this strip of 40 right now. No one can dog us in North Carolina. Honestly, seriously. If Duke gets into the championship to beat UK, every one of you should cheer for Duke because why? UK sucks. Right? Seriously. Duke fans, you should cheer for UNC. Why? Because we should got each other's back. Come on now. We should, because ACC's got to stand up for each other. If an ACC team gets in there, we beat them up. Because ACC is awesome. If all we do is tear down ACC, then all we're doing is diluting how good our conference is, right? It's like, yeah, UNC, they stink no matter what. No, they're a good team. We stand up for them. Now listen, that's just my little showboat there for a second. But now listen, if I had tickets right now, and we have to pick this game because this has been the other, besides Ohio State and Michigan football, we have to say Duke UNC at Cameron Indoor. If I had tickets on the floor for this game, and I was going to give you these tickets, and let's say the game was on Tuesday at 10 o'clock in the morning, what would you do? You would call off work. You would call off sick. You call off sick. You would paint your belly blue or baby blue. You would buy, if you wouldn't paint your belly or paint your face blue, what would you do? You would buy a new shirt. Everyone in this room would buy a new shirt. I know for a fact you're a liar, and liars go to hell, Revelation 21. You would buy something to show your team. Boom, new shirt. If you're on social media, you're going to brag the snot out of it to all your friends about how you are at this game. And if you don't have social media, I know for a fact you'd call your mom. You would text your best friend. You'd be like, look where I'm at, because you're not. I know for a fact. You would brag about it for days upon days. Look where I was. Look what I've done. This was awesome. You would tell people about the game and the excitement, the thrill of it all, the loudness. You would. You'd talk about it. That is the same way you've got to approach your marriage. You've got to be your biggest fan to your spouse. You have to show them that you love them with so much grace that even when they lose a game, you're still their biggest fan. You don't talk trash about them. You don't look around and you say, well, you know, they missed that layup. They missed that dunk, that alley-oop. I forget it. I want to give it up, give it away, throw away the t-shirt. No, you're still going to love them. You're still going to praise them about how great of a job they've done. You're going to look at them and you're going to say, well, you know what? Foul shots, man. They should have worked on their foul shots. They should have been better at it. So what do? That's the truth moment with love. You go into the locker room with them. That's your bedroom. You say to them, hey, baby, you missed some free throws. How can we fix this? We open up the Bible. A few weeks ago, I made a mistake, and I have paid for it greatly inside of me. When I play basketball, I play basketball. Some of you play basketball with me, and you still have not played basketball with me. Some of you have not. Hillary has seen me play basketball. Tom has seen me play basketball. Hillary loves watching me play because she sees a Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde moment come out. Some of you are sitting here, I know Shafin's been like, I've played ball with you. You have never played ball with me. Trust me, I know for a fact you've never played. When I put on a jersey and there's a trophy at the end of this, I will kill you. My wife and I were playing basketball at the Gold's Gym a few weeks ago. And my wife's a really good basketball player, and she loves to play horse. She loves to beat me at horse. I don't know how she keeps beating me, but she keeps beating me. And I'm trying. So as we're playing, my wife goes, you think I could hang with you guys? And I'm like, no. She goes, oh, you don't think I've got the skill and the talent? And I go, no. Now, I know this may come across very sexist to some of you, and I don't apologize. But I'm a firm believer that the best WNBA team could not beat the best NBA team. I don't believe it. I do not believe. Now, I said the best. WNBA best could beat a mediocre style. I know that seems harsh, and it seems very mean and very rude and very man and sexist or whatever. But I'm going to tell you right now, there's no way that the best of WNBA could beat the best of NBA. Can't happen. They're stronger. They're faster. Their agility as far as jumping higher, it's tough. So I looked at my wife and I said, baby, it's just a fact. Men they're not going to play you that hard. My wife, what do you mean? I said, I'm going to tell you right now. I've played with Shafin, I've played with Brad, I've played with these guys, and when they play, I would not want my wife out on that court if they were going to play the way they play against me. Not going to happen. She's like, let's do it. I said, no. She goes, play me. Come on, play me. So I got it. I got my stance. I was going to win this. I was going to crush her. So she comes at me. She does her usual little bump that I kind of... This time I didn't do it. This time I stayed still. She fell back like 2 feet. I got back up on her again. I bumped her back out. Oh, man, I was on her. She went for a shot. I went to block, and I was going to block it to kingdom come. What I didn't realize was that she was going to go full force too. So as she went up with the ball and I was going down, I hurt her wrist. And she stopped, and she went down, and I go, oh, baby, I am so sorry. I don't even know why I did that. I am sorry. I'm wrong. I did not need to win this battle. I am so sorry. I started getting teary-eyed. She's crying. She's like, don't touch me, don't touch me, don't touch me. She gets down in a fetal position against the wall, and she goes, you proved your point, didn't you? Prove your point. You had to go prove your point, didn't you? I go, baby, I am so sorry. I'm trying to touch her. I'm trying to love on her. I'm trying to do everything I can. This goes back to you need to know the 5 love languages, because there are times where you don't want to be touched and all your spouse is doing is touching you. I'm giving her the wrong love. Know your love languages, okay? Trust me, you need to know them. 5lovelanguages.com. Go there. So I stopped touching because I realized that's not going to fix this. She's holding her wrist and she's crying, and I've hurt her. Baby, I am so stupid. I am sorry. Please forgive me. She goes, let's do this. She stands up. Let's play. Come on. I'm done. I'm a bigger girl than this. Let's do this. Now I go, no, seriously, I'm done. She's like, no, we're going to do this. Come on, I'm fine. I don't need your affection. Do this thing. She forgave me. And you know what? She hasn't talked about it since. And the reason why she hasn't been able to, she didn't have to talk about it since, because at that moment, I was sorry. And I asked for forgiveness, and she gave it. Now, I'm not giving you a freedom card or a free pass here that you should just always show grace. So if that moment you're like, you hurt me, and then the other spouse looks at you and says, you need to show grace and forgive me. If that person's still feeling hurt, you need to discuss it. You need to talk this out, okay? Something's unresolved, fix it. But luckily at that moment, I was quickly able to go to my wife and say, I am so sorry. Now, in my locker room, my wife comes back to me and she could say to me, she didn't need to, she knows I know the word, but she could have easily taken me to the locker room and said, you messed up on this one, honey. You messed up. What's the Bible say about this? And she's got to do it with love. Maybe the Bible tells you, pride, that's what happens when you get prideful. You had to win this battle. You got all prideful. And what happened? You hurt me. You hurt the people around you when you're not humble. It's the Bible. You got to show friendliness to have friends. You got to be friendly. So guys, I encourage you, you got to use this word to understand grace. And I'll say this. Man, this is so true. If you don't learn to use this Bible, if you don't learn to develop your relationship, the one that Christ has shown us, then in Ecclesiastes 4:12, this, unfortunately, will become you. A person standing alone can be attacked and defeated. You will be standing alone. If you don't learn to operate in truth, love, and grace appropriately, you will be standing alone. And that's why divorce rates are high. That's why it's easy to be always in a wounded state in the relationship or in a dominant state where you just are always pointing out and picking and tearing versus, you know what, grace, forgive, love, acceptance. And you're going to build up, guys, you got to build up something strong because the next line is beautiful. But two can stand back to back and conquer. That is my biggest fan. We will stand back to back and conquer. We will be there for each other. Yesterday we were in the car driving home, long car ride. And my wife was furious with our children. Why? Because of me. I decided that we didn't need to go into Wendy's. We can just get the fast food and eat it in the car with 4 kids. I'm dumb. So my wife's going nuts. And she's freaking out because every kid's wanting something and people are spilling ketchup everywhere and there's Frosties going all over places and people. And my wife starts going nuts with the kids. And I look at her and I go, whoa, calm down. She goes, I'm just upset. I want out of this car. We all need out of this car, blah, 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 blah. I get it. Totally understand. So what do? Baby, let's go. We're gonna pull off at Pilot Mountain and we're gonna go hiking. I hiked in these shoes yesterday. They actually probably smell. And we just pulled over the side of the road. Let's go hiking. It was a spontaneous moment. And what happened when we got back in the car? The kids go, best day ever. And then we knew our kids were lying in this moment. And then they were like, you're the best mom and dad ever. Like, whatever. You're just saying that because we just gave you something. We just did something for you. But it changed the mood drastically. It made our day more pleasant because we looked at the circumstance and instead of reacting to what was going on there, we said, what would Christ do? What would he do? Would he continue down this path of yelling and screaming and fighting and arguing? Would he continue to do that? Or would he stop it and look at a different angle? Jesus Christ was known for different angles. That's the reason why the Bible is so thrilling and just exciting, because when you look at it, you go, man, I would never have thought about to say that to those guys. Jesus just turned it. It was awesome. So that's what we do in our marriage. We got each other's back. If she can't think of the right thing to do because she's looking at one angle, then I've got to think of the other angle. There was no way my wife was going to think about pulling off the side of the road other than to throw our kids out of the car. So what did I have to do? I had to come up with a different angle. What could fix this? Hey, you know, it's our way home, Pilot Mountain, just drive off, go to the top, hike. Baby, you want to go hiking? Really? Yeah, it'll be fun. We can do it. All the kids, you guys want to go? Yeah! It was great. Changing the angle. And here's my final last point. If you understand the love of Christ, if you understand that he loves you in the full capacity of truth, love, and grace, then you can tell the truth to your spouse without crushing them. You can love your spouse without worrying about being hurt. I'm able to love my wife without worrying about her hurting me. She can see my flaws. She can see my junk. She can see the nasties of nasties. She can see it all. And I know she loves me. And she's there for me. And it's the betterment of our relationship. Not that she's looking for something different. And not that she's just out there to pick at me. My wife loves me. So this week, know who loves you. When you read the book of John, John had the privilege to write the last book. And he wrote the book in third person of saying the one whom Jesus loved. He wasn't being prideful, and he wasn't trying to be in this moment of, I'm the one who Jesus loved. What he was saying is he knew that he was loved by Jesus. I know my wife loves me. Share that love with your spouse. Love on them. Be there for them. Make them better.